Hello, everyone, and welcome to Crescent Podcast, where we discuss all things business, parenting, juggling the two, with a splash of neurodivergence here and there. I am your host, Lucy, and I run Crescent Digital Marketing, where I work with and support neurodivergent-led businesses to help them create authentic and accessible content online. A big shout out to our fantastic sponsor, Purple Frog Signs. They are based in Gillingham, and not only can they help with any of your professional signage needs from design through to print and delivery, but they also have a big focus on sustainability. So if you want to find out more, pop over to their website, purplefrogsigns.com, or follow them online on Instagram and LinkedIn. So I've been thinking a lot lately about what tools I use and streamlining and how I can be more efficient and figure out what works for me. So I thought that today I would go through some of the tools and apps that I use to help me with my work. And to clarify, none of what I say is a paid endorsement. It's purely down to what I found useful from my own experience. And they're in no particular order because they all play quite an important part in me running my business. And I'm not including the social media apps themselves, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, because they're a given in this industry. First of all, we have Canva. I adore Canva. I have used it for years. I remember using it many years ago, and it was so different then. It has changed so much. It's so much more intuitive and easier to use. There are guides for just about anything. If you're not sure how to create an effect or design, or you wanted to do a certain something, you can check out the help pages. There's so much there that you can utilize to help your business. There are probably a billion templates which are so easy to use, and you can very quickly create a new design from them. You can also very easily make them completely your own. You can move things around a bit, make it your own, use your own brand colors, use your brand fonts, use your images. I'm not a lover of stock images. I only use them when and if I absolutely have to, because it's better to use your own images. It builds that layer of authenticity online, being real with your audience, showing them who you are, what you can do. So yeah, the stock images are great for inspiration or an idea, and then you could try to recreate that. Or if you absolutely don't have any photos at all when you're starting out, the stock photos are there and they are an option. Secondly, Metrical. Metrical has been a game changer for me. I've used several social media scheduling apps in the past, and some have worked okay, but they're actually quite expensive. Some really haven't worked, and although it seems like you're getting a good deal, you're really not. And actually, but they don't actually work very well. But I'm not naming names. It's not what I'm here for. So Metrical, it's a fantastic social media scheduling app, but it's so much more than that. I was talking with a friend of mine recently who also is a social media manager, and we were just fangirling over how great Metrical is. Because not only can I do my own social media from it, which makes it easy, and I can plan ahead really well. I can see what's worked in the past and whatever. But I can do all my clients' social media accounts really quickly. And that's one thing. Before, you used to have passwords and be granted access, etc., etc. Now it's just a quick link. I send my clients a link. They accept whatever they do their end, and then I have access to their accounts, and I can manage their social media. I can draft things and plan them, look at a month's schedule, see where I want what to happen, what national days are coming up, things like that, which Metrical also has listed. You can see all the national days every day of the year, national or international, if there's something going on. I think today might be National Chocolate Cake Day. When am I recording this? Yeah, I think today is natural. Anyway, so with a quick link, I have access to their accounts. I can plan, schedule, design, send things over to them for them to authorize. They can send feedback if they didn't like the image, or if they wanted something added to the end of the reel, or some of the wording in the caption, anything they want changed. But also you can manage all the communications from all the DMs in one place. They're all there. And that makes it so much easier from having, like with Instagram, for example, having to go onto your phone and having to do that. It's just on the screen on Metrical, and you can just manage it from there. It's game changer. And then you've got the analytics. And I never thought I'd enjoy analytics quite so much. And I don't know, maybe it's just the way they lay it out. I don't know. But it's very easy to understand what's working, what's not working, maybe why something worked. I don't believe that necessarily time of day and days of the week matter too much, as long as you're being consistent. If you're going to post 3 times a week, post 3 times a week. But the reports are very intuitive, and it also generates them automatically every month if you want, and they can go to your clients, and it's just everything's there. It's I can't rate it high enough, really. And as I said, it's got the list for the national and international days, which is great. If you're really struggling for a bit of inspiration and you just like feel like you're hitting a brick wall, what can I do today? It's got it listed at the top of every day what that day is. National Chocolate Cake Day, International Women's Day, whatever it is, it's got them all there, which is a brilliant add-on to have. Third, ClickUp. Okay, so I looked at lots of different time management systems, and I don't know what it was, but ClickUp really works for me. I don't know if it's the layout or anything, and to an extent, they're all kind of the same, and they all do the same thing, but ClickUp just clicked with me. See what I did there? So I can put all my ideas for projects in there and content, as well as my to-do list. And this might have been actually the thing that I really, really liked about it. And you can do it in other apps, but it wasn't as straightforward as this. So I've got recurring client tasks, some that are weekly, some that are monthly. And I've managed to very easily set it up so that when I tick complete on said task being done, it automatically sets it up for the next week or the next month without me having to do that. I've set it up at the beginning and then it's done. When I looked at other programs, it wasn't as straightforward. It was so easy on ClickUp. And it's a tiny thing, but it's made all the difference. And it was just so straightforward. And it's just a click of the button and then it's just like reset itself almost. And then I know it's there ready for me next week or next month or whenever it's coming up. And the email reminders, I get daily email reminders of what I've got going on each day and my to-do list in ClickUp, when work's due, etc., etc. And that's really useful because it's an instant visual first thing in the morning, in case I could have forgotten when I'm usually looking at my calendar quite a lot, which we'll come to. It's just there, and it's a great reminder. Yep, I know what I'm doing today. So fourth, I use QuickBooks. I was using Xero for a while, but someone said something about QuickBooks. I can't remember what it was, but I thought, I'll just have a look. And it's just so much easier to use, especially when categorizing the payments, etc. I've got the app on my phone, so if I'm out and about and I make a payment on my business account, I take a photo of the receipt there and then, immediately upload it to my account, done. All my accounts tracking is there, and it's helped me keep my accounts in check and stay on track so I don't overspend. I know exactly what money I've got in the account, what's going in, what's going out. It's just nice and easy. I like it. Fifth, edits. I use the Edits app, which was part of Instagram, part of Meta, to edit some videos on my phone. Sometimes I create them in Canva and then I finish them in Edits. Sometimes I create them from scratch in Edits. Because Edits is where I put captions on Reels. Because Edits is part of Instagram, Instagram can read the captions. If I put the captions on in Canva, it would just be a whole video and Edits wouldn't be able to read it. Instagram wouldn't be able to read it. But because I've done it in Edits, Instagram can read the captions, which helps the reach of the reel. It helps it go to more people. Instagram know exactly what it is you're sharing. And it seems to be at the moment, every time I open the Edits app, there's a new feature, a font or effect. Something's been added. Every time I scroll through, I was like, oh, that's new. And they're obviously very on, like, trying to keep on top of how effective it can be and how well it's working. And you can do so much within the app to create brilliant, unique videos. It's really worth playing around with if you've not explored it. Sick. My old faithful, pen and paper. I love being creative digitally, but I also love actually writing things down, especially if I've got a lovely notebook or lots of notebooks, like lots of new notebooks that I've not started yet that I've got to write in, which I will be writing in at one point. But if you've got lots of notebooks, or if you like writing and you've got lots of notebooks, then yeah, there's nothing quite like it. Who doesn't love a new notebook? I love making a physical list, especially I have a lot of thoughts, a lot going on in my head, lots of things juggling, plates spinning in the air, something like that. And so before I put my thoughts into ClickUp, I like to try and figure them out. So I tend to write them all down, and it makes me make sense, if that makes sense. I feel it's just part of my natural process. I've always done it when I was at uni, which is a long time ago now. But I would always start writing my essays out in pencil. After a few dozen pages, I would then be like, okay, I need to start writing this on the laptop. And that's, yeah, I love writing. I find it very quite soothing and relaxing, and I enjoy it. So that's always been a part of my creative process, really. And seventh, my calendar. I would be so lost without this. And I know many people are horrified when I've shown them my calendar. I think it's lovely. It's color coded. Let me show you. If you're listening to this and you're not watching it, I'm really sorry that you're missing out on the wonder that is my calendar. So that's my calendar, just briefly. All different colors, lots going on. But it has to be so that I can easily see what's happening. So I've got colours for my business, my personal appointments, my husband's business, a joint family calendar, and individual ones for my children and their increasingly busy social lives. But without that, I would not have a clue what's going on. I do also have a wall planner, which just there, which I use for quick glances when checking dates for meetings or podcasting recordings. But if it's not in my calendar on my phone, it's not happening. So my calendar is absolutely essential. Eighth, my music. I love having music playing when I'm creating, when I'm working generally. I use Amazon Music, and it's usually playing musical hits. I love a good musical, but it has to be something I've heard before, because then even if I'm singing along, I can still work. I don't know how that works. But if it's something new, I can't focus on my work because I'm heavily invested in the music. I think it's the same if it's a particularly miserable day and it's cold, or I'm not feeling like working at my desk and I'm curled up on the sofa working on my laptop. I can have the TV on as long as it's something I've seen before, because then I'm not too invested in it. Maybe if it's something new, it's too distracting. But I do love my music and I love having it playing when I'm working. So ninth, this is my AI friend, Claude. I know people are still unsure of AI, understandably. I am as well, but I am embracing it to an extent. For those that have adopted it and started using it, I know ChatGPT is a big favourite for a lot of people. But I find Claude more conversational, and I just prefer it. So I did use AI to create some social media posts. I was curious to see what it could produce. So I did a bit of an experiment a while ago now. And whilst the content produced was okay, sounded a bit like me, the posts didn't do particularly well. I really wasn't comfortable with the inauthenticity of it. That grated on me a bit, I think. Well, it goes against everything that I say that you should be authentic, and it's not. It's a big ick with me. And you can see it so much. I see it in other social media managers when I've looked at their work. And you can just tell if it's a copy and paste from AI, and it just, makes me cringe. But whilst I have now obviously reverted back to creating my own posts, I still use Claude to try out new ideas, to clarify my thoughts, especially when I've got a lot of them And sometimes writing it down isn't enough. I have to say it out loud. And through all the mishmash of whatever it is I'm saying, Claude can sometimes make it make sense. So then I can be like, okay, now I know what to do with that, and then I can go off. And so it's helpful. It's a helpful tool, but it's not. It can't do my job yet. And I don't think it will be able to do my job because it will never be truly authentic and truly human. And that's the edge that I like. So 10th, this is my DJI Osmo 3. I love it. It's beautiful and pretty, and it's got a little gimbal and it can move and record. It can take pictures, it can do videos. I love it. It's made making videos so much better. The microphone is amazing. I practiced with my daughter when I first got it and made her go into a separate room with the microphone on and sing a song. And the sound quality was crystal clear. It was beautiful. It's got the face tracking option, so it'll keep you in the center if you're recording and walking, for example. If you're doing a lot of video recording content, I really recommend getting one. It's brilliant. And you've got an app you can download the content straight from the camera to your phone. And it's brilliant. I highly rate it. And then, as well as those 10 essentials, I've got my coffee, I've got a snack, I've got a fidget ring. Let me show you. It's a fidget ring. It's got these balls on it that move. So I often play with that. So I've got everything I need around me to crack on and get my work done. So what would you have in your top 10 tools for your working day? Have you got anything the same? Have you got something different? Maybe there's something I've totally forgotten that I do use. That has happened before when I was talking to someone and I missed out something incredibly crucial. And I'm not talking about email systems and things like that. Maybe you've got a really good CRM system that works. I'd love to hear about that. Let me know. Pop a comment or drop me an email. I would love to hear from you. Please give me a follow wherever you're consuming this episode. Share it with anyone who you think might enjoy it. I am very grateful for all your support. If you want to be a guest, I'd love to hear from you. Please get in touch. I'm always open to talking to people about having guest spots on the podcast. Thank you again to Purple Frog Science for sponsoring the podcast, and I will see you all next time.